Hello, wonderful people. Today, I bring you transparency and the total summary of the entire today presidential election petition tribunal hearing being Wednesday, the 14th of June, 2023. Today is indeed a happy day for Nigerians, especially the obedient movement home and abroad, because it is getting more interesting. Before I proceed further, I wish to remind you that the same people who claim that Peter Obi cannot get 100 votes in the north, the same people who claim that Peter Obi cannot get 1 million votes nationwide, that is across the entire Nigeria, those who claim that Peter Obi lacks structure and cannot win presidential election. My dear friends, I want to ask you a question. Have Peter Obi not succeeded in clearing the doubts of the opposition party, including APC and PDP, as well as those who decided to remain neutral? Peter Obi and the obedient movement has indeed brought a wave of change in the entire Nigeria. And that is to say that joy will be our portion in the end. And I wish to remind you at this juncture that Peter Obi will indeed reclaim and recover his stolen mandate, and nothing will change it. That there may be joy and happiness in Nigeria, at least for once. In view of this, I wish to remind you that today, the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal have succeeded in admitting IREV certified result and the BVAS Certificate as exhibit. And in this result, and the pointer is still indicating that Mr. Gregory Peter Obi indeed cleared the doubt of many Nigerians by sweeping vote across the 36 states of Nigeria, which made him even garner more votes, more than any other political party that contested the elections heavily. Before I go any further, I wish to remind you that it is indeed laughable and a very big shame to INEC, especially to Prof Yakubu Mahmoud, that most of the documents that was used in declaring Bola Ahmed Tinubu the president-elect were submitted today and tendered before the appeal court. And this result or document were found to be blurred. That is to say, some of these documents are blank. You cannot see anything. The results written in this document, in this result sheet, you cannot see them. And this continues to make a lot of Nigerians to keep asking questions. How did Professor Yakubu Mahmoud arrive at the announcement of Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the president-elect from the presidential election? Without wasting much of your time, I wish to take you further into the affairs of today. His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi was absent in court today, but was duly represented by the Labour Party women leader, Mrs. Dudu Manoga. And the Labour Party Council's appearance was duly led by Dr. Livy, senior advocate of Nigeria, and Labour Party continued with the presentation and tendering of evidences, which was led by Audu Anoga, senior advocate of Nigeria. And all the documents and evidences that was presented today by Labour Party in court were all contained in the 8th and the 9th schedule. And as always, Labour Party brought in massive collections of evidences to the court, which continue to make many Nigerians to look in admiration to how prepared Peter Obi and Labour Party are in prosecuting this case and proving to the Nigerian people that truly the February 25th presidential election was manipulated. Labour Party went further to present IREV report and IREV result for a lot of local government, which includes Bauchi. 20 local government was tendered from Bauchi State, 17 local government were tendered for Edo State, and 25 local government were tendered by Niger State, and 21 local government was tendered for Benue State. As well, it will interest you to know that all the 20 local government tendered by Bauchi State includes both the result sheet that were blurred, blank and unreadable, as well as with those ones which are also readable. Similarly, 8 local government were presented for Bayelsa State, and all the 8 local government from Bayelsa State were all blurred, as you can hardly see anything on the result sheet. And even there are some result sheets that were boldly written on them, cancelled. There were also 8 local government from Gombe State that was tendered by Labour Party. And as well, all the 8 local government tendered for Gombe State by Labour Party were all blurred. That is to say, you cannot see the content of the result sheet. As well, 21 local government was tendered for Kaduna State. Labour Party went further to present supplementary certified IREV report for 2 local governments in Kaduna State. There were also blurred IREV downloaded results that does not have any link to Kaduna State or any of the local government in Kaduna State. You begin to wonder, how then did this result find its way to INEC IREV portal? There were equally IREV certificate of compliance for 7 states across Nigerians. 6 were tendered with the exclusion of Akwa Ibom State. Labour Party went further to tender BVAS and certificate of compliance for 28 states, including FCT. This is one of the obonge results that all Nigerians have been hoping and looking towards to, because FCT, do not forget that it is in our constitution that for you to be the president of Nigeria, you must score 25% constitutional requirement to be declared the president of Nigeria. And this was one of the reasons a lot of people in the courtroom were full of joy and smiles on their faces the moment Labour Party tendered the BVAS and certificate of compliance for 28 states, including that of the FCT. And as usual, all evidences tendered by Labour Party were equally opposed by the respondents, which includes INEC, Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Kashim Shettima counsels. But these documents were subsequently admitted by the court and they were tagged with exhibit numbers. My dear friends, there was a heated argument in the court on why INEC chairman Professor Yakubu Mahmoud has refused or has not responded to Labour Party's subpoena. Remember that Labour Party continues to tender documented evidences and INEC continues to object this document. So Labour Party went further to subpoena the INEC chairman, Professor Yakubu Mahmoud, to appear in court and present the result which they claim that is the true certified true copies with which he made the announcement of president-elect. And for this reason, a lot of Nigerians have come out to say that there is no hiding place for Professor Yakubu Mahmoud, that he thought he could manipulate Nigeria election and everybody will keep quiet, that this generation are not smiling, as everybody, more than 95% of Nigerians, home and abroad, are patiently interested in the proceedings of the tribunal, hoping that the hope of a common man may be restored through the judiciary. And that is why we are doing everything possible to bring you transparency on what is trending and happening at the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal. Do not forget why it continues to amaze many Nigerians and why INEC has made itself a laughingstock is that INEC had earlier argued that all the documents contained in the INEC IREV portals are readable and accurate. But from what we have seen today and the previous days from the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal, of which Labour Party and Peter Obi counsels have presented both blank sheets of result, both blurred sheets of result, and both unreadable sheets of result from INEC, which are part and parcel of the document with which INEC declared Bola Ahmed Tinubu the president-elect. It has continued to puzzle many Nigerians on how Professor Yakubu Mahmoud arrived at declaring Bola Ahmed Tinubu the winner of the presidential election of February 25th, 2023. But one interesting thing about life and about truth in this life is that truth comes with evidences, and no matter how much you try to cover the truth, it will only take but a short time and the truth will find its way. And the truth continues to come out with evidences. And that is what is currently happening at the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal, because the evidences and the truth continues to pour out. And this has been seen in the amount of evidences that Labour Party and Peter Obi are always bringing to the courtroom. At this juncture, the Labour Party and Peter Obi-led counsel, Dr. Uzoku, went further to appeal to the court to adjourn today's tribunal hearing, simply because Professor Yakubu Mahmoud is dodging the subpoena. However, INEC lawyer told the judges that Dr. Uzoku is lying when he said that Professor Yakubu Mahmoud is dodging the subpoena. He went further to say that they have accepted every subpoena served, but that Dr. Uzoku is always accusing them of the opposite. This he said, adding that if Dr. Uzoku wants an adjournment, he should say so and leave for the day and not blame INEC. Well, that is the statement from the INEC lawyer. But it is very obvious that INEC have, from the beginning of this whole exercise, not cooperated effectively with Labour Party, starting with giving them all the documents they have requested for until this very time. But let's keep our fingers crossed and see whether Professor Yakubu Mahmoud will appear in the court in the next days. Based on these grounds, the court was adjourned till Thursday, 15th of June, 2023. My dear friends, if this is your first time of coming across my page, please do not forget to like and share this video. And don't forget to follow our channel for more interesting content. And do not forget that a new Nigeria is indeed practically possible with Peter Obi, a Nigeria where rule of law, where free speech, where good governance, using public fund for the public good of the people will be upheld. And every Nigerian will be proud to be a Nigerian. God bless you.
Evidence, and you see in the course of his evidence he also tendered those video clips, very important video clips, showing the INEC chairman making the commitment to Nigerians for that real-time transmission of the results by the BVAS machine to the IREV. And you see, with that established, we are very, very happy with what has happened today. And he also tendered even screenshots from the INEC. We saw the documents there. So when we now mentioned that we had subpoenaed the INEC chairman, you can see that there are some documents we tendered and they objected to. But now we are also subpoenaing them to come by themselves and produce those documents. Those documents, let them produce them themselves so that we know whether they will object or not object to the ones they will produce by themselves. Thank you very much.